Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. And this one is kind of just very specific because I'm going to talk about the diesel heater and the LCD controls. And I'm just going to go through some of the basics and some of the advanced things that you can do with it, since there was a few people in my comments on the last videos about this diesel heater were asking questions about it. So I'm going to go and try and answer some of those questions and go through some of the settings and so on and so forth. So let's get into it. First, I'm going to show where my diesel heater is and how it works and where the heat comes out of and the exhaust, the air intake, and everything like that. And let's get into it. First off, it's kind of difficult to see, but it is sitting right there, right deep in the back. It's sitting on a turret plate. The turret plate we'll go show you in a second, but there's the gas tank. The fuel pump is sitting inside that box, which I've tried to seal the best I can with some sound deadening. I could have probably done a little bit better, but it works. And then the controller wiring goes up there into the back and then through the wall, and that's how the heater's installed. The turret plate comes through the body of the frame. It's insulated and it's also secured with silicone that's rated for high heat. The air intake is sitting up above in that frame, up there away from where the mud can get at it, and the exhaust comes out here. I may change it because if you are common viewers, you've noticed that anytime this is the engine's running, it makes a lot of racket. So I may disconnect this and connect it, but using a wire wrap. I'll connect it to the pipe, but the pipe won't be connected to this directly, so hopefully it'll reduce some vibrations. We'll have to play with it or mount it somewhere different. I don't know yet. We'll figure that out later. Heat comes out here, and the tube is connected to there, and that is also wrapped in HVAC insulation so that it's not transferred, the heat's not transferred, or it doesn't burn the wood or anything like that. And it's connected to there. So it's easily maintainable. I can pull this tank out, pull the heater out, maintain it, put it back in, replace the fuel pump if I need to. So hopefully this is a fully maintainable diesel heater setup that works for me. So let's get into this. Okay, so the first thing you noticed right now is I've got the mountain peaks. You can enable the mountain peaks pretty easily by holding down these two buttons to disable it, and then hold these two buttons to enable it. This is for anything above 2,000 feet. And I don't know if there's any secret menu to change those settings, so don't quite quote me on that. If there is, I don't know how to get into it. And I've looked and I've looked and I've looked and I can't figure it out. Okay, now that we've got that figured out, to prime it, you can hold these two buttons down, which I'm not going to do because it's already primed. So I would only recommend pressing these buttons down and watching the fuel go until it reaches the heater. Once it reaches the heater, turn the primer off and then let the controller do the rest. Now there's not much else you can do without turning the heater on, but you can turn on a timer by holding these two buttons down. Now there's two ways you can set a timer. You can turn it so it turns on, or you can set it so it turns off. So let's set it so it turns on in 0.1 hour. And then you can change the on and the off button by hitting the settings button. So we're going to hit OK. And now we're going to turn on the timer by holding these two buttons. Now I'm pretty sure that red blinking on light means it's on. So I'm just gonna wait 1/10 of an hour and we'll see if it goes on, which it should. I mean, that's exactly what the timer's built for. Exactly 6 minutes is exactly what I set it to. Now, the same thing will go for when you want to turn it off. You can set it up. You can, I think the most you can do is like 24 hours. So let's see. Oh, 29 hours. 29.9 hours. Okay, that's the largest amount of hours you can set it, so just over 24 hours. And to set that, you can hit the power button, which changes the location when you can go up and down. And then you hit the settings button to change it from on to off. So if I want it to go off in half an hour, or if I'm sleeping at night and I want the heater to go off in 4 hours, and then, you know, save a few hours of diesel or whatever, you can set it to turn off after a few hours. I'm just gonna leave it at 1. Yeah, I'll just leave it at 1.5, and then we'll get out of this. Oh, it's turning off. I didn't mean to turn it off. All right, well, we'll let it cycle off. Okay, I've already showed this in my previous controller video, but to set the temperature, you hold the settings icon, you hold it down again. Now you can hold the arrow buttons until you select the desired temperature, and then you can hold the control button again, and then you can also go down an arrow and then it'll go on to this temperature mode. Now this does not turn the controller off, or it does not turn the diesel heater off. It only selects the lowest heating mode. So if the if the heat drops below this temperature, the heat will go up. So it'll maintain a temperature. It'll maintain the temperature, but it won't turn the temperature off. This is the internal temperature inside the heater itself. This usually sits between 120 and 220 degrees Celsius is usually around the safest areas. This is the voltage. Now it doesn't say more than 12 volts, but obviously if it's 12 volts, it's good. And then it's back to the temperature. So that's just that one menu all done. Now you can go up to the highest, which is 6, and then you can go down 4, 3, 2, 1, and then back to the temperature. As I said before, you can also change the high altitude setting by holding the OK and the settings button, and then holding the settings and the up arrow to enable the timer, which you can set. If you don't want it at 1.5 hours, which you've already seen, you can scroll back to earlier in the video where I showed you how to set that. And you can turn it off by holding the same buttons. Okay, now I've figured it out. To get into the secret menu, you have to hold OK and the power button. Once you get into here, I have no idea. I don't know any of the 3-digit codes. So if you know any of those 3-digit codes, let me know in the comments down below. To get out of this menu, you hold the settings button down, and then you're back into your menu. Now if you know any of those codes for the secret menu, let me know down below. I'm gonna let you know if I find any of those codes, I'll let you guys know. So that is everything I know about this diesel heater. If you guys liked what you saw, please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. See you guys later. Peace.